We're doing yoga for strength today, and if you have a block handy, grab it. You don't need it. It's not absolute that you need it, but if you have it handy, grab it. We're going to start on our feet. So come up onto your feet. Find your feet underneath your hips. Find your feet on the ground. Look at your feet. Wiggle your toes. Spread your toes wide. Place your toes back down. Roll around on the balls of your feet and onto the heels, adjusting the weight on your feet, really feeling the weight on your feet. Take a couple of circles. Trying to connect with your feet on the ground. And then come to mountain pose. And we're going to assess mountain pose before we take a little internal check-in. So, feet on the ground, weight even on the feet, not gripping with the toes. Toes should be loose. See if you can soften around the knees a little more. Maybe even experience a little bit of a bend and see where the perfect level of bend is for you. We overdo it, and then just see where your legs feel nice and comfortable. Soften around your lower back. Soften any gripping in the glutes. Maybe you're pulling your pelvis. Just soften around the glutes and around the hips. Hands to prayer, but soft shoulders. Soft neck, soft face, maybe even close the eyes and tune in. Start to allow the breath to come a little bit deeper into the torso. Softening and landing on your mat, landing in this space. Giving yourself permission to just be on the mat for 60 minutes, taking a little break from everything outside of your mat. Having an internal experience. And then bow your head down towards your hands, as if making a little promise to yourself to really remain present. Now we're going to begin to move and breathe, starting simple at first. Inhale, arms up overhead. Connect your prayer. Exhale, bring it down to your heart. Inhale up. Exhale down to your heart. Start to move with your breath. Experience your arms moving, your hands connecting. And then start to make this movement a little bigger, coming up onto the balls of our feet as we breathe in, and coming down to a little baby chair as we breathe out. Starting to really connect with your breath. Finding your center of gravity right in front of your hips. And trying not to lock the knees when you come up onto the balls of the feet. And then bring it down to chair. See if you can bring it down without lowering the heels. So heels raised, little chair. Start to engage the legs, so feel like you're pulling the mat apart with the legs. Squeeze the stomach a little more and soften the lower back a little more. Sink the hips nice and slow. Breathe and hold. Feel like you're pulling your feet apart. The outsides of your legs should feel like they're working. Inhale, lift the hips a little. Exhale, lower. You feel free to drop the heels. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Still moving with our breath. Legs engaged, stomach engaged. Shoulders soft, face soft. And then lower the heels, still in a chair. Hold. Check in. Couple of options here. You can either bring the knees and the feet to touch, or if you like, grab a block. Grab a block and place it just above the knee and squeeze the block. We're gonna hold the chair, squeeze the block, get really solid in the legs, squeezing the block as well as feeling like you're pulling the feet apart. Lots of muscle engagement. We're gonna inhale up, exhale, bring right elbow towards left knee. Inhale up, exhale, left elbow towards knee. Start to use your core. Try not to move the hips to make this movement bigger. Use your core to bring your shoulder down towards the knee. Hollow out the belly. And if you want to make this movement bigger, you're going to make the torso heavier by bringing the arms out and bringing armpit towards opposite knee. If your legs are not burning yet, you're not working hard enough, pull them out apart, squeeze that block. Bring it up, all the way up, bring it down to the heart, and release the block if you have the block. Inhale up, catch your breath. Exhale down to your heart. Inhale up. Exhale down. This time swan dive it down. Inhale up. Exhale, swan dive it down. Touch the ground. Right foot back, left foot back. High plank hold. Breathe. Lower the knees and come to a tabletop. Table toss. Need my towel. We're going to work the wrists a little bit, warming up the wrists and shoulders. We're going to work the arms and shoulders a lot today. So we're going to warm up the wrists and shoulders. So taking the hands a little bit wider, maybe about mat width apart, just sway the arms and shoulders left to right. But do this with muscular action. So you're pushing into the hands, starting to feel the muscles of the chest and the shoulders. Bring the hands back in about shoulder width, lots of room for the wrists. And take some shoulder circles pressing into the ground. Nice and slow and with control. Take the tension out of the neck. Reverse the circles. And then bring the fingertips to point towards the knee. You may need to bring the hand closer towards the knee. Open up the back of the wrist. Try not to lock into the elbow joint, just opening up the back of the wrist. Maybe bringing a little weight off and on, just experiencing your hands in a different position. Bring your hands back to pointing forward. Bring your fingers to fingertips. So pressing into fingertips, and maybe take some of your body weight backwards to take the pressure off your hands. Press your fingertips into the ground and then bring enough weight forward that you feel a little challenged. Strengthening the hands and wrists in a different position. If you feel strong in the hands and wrists in this way, you can take little tiny press-ups, really bringing weight into the hands and fingers. And then bring that down, slowly left to right. Moving through the hands, moving through the arms, having an internal experience of how your arms and shoulders and wrists feel. And bring them back to neutral. We're going to bring Our right arm up. Inhale, lift up. We're really thinking about being strong in this left shoulder. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, push through. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, push through. Trying to move through this left shoulder with strength. Squeeze the core. And then bring the right hand back down. Left side. Inhale, open. Exhale, thread through. Inhale, open. Really press into that right hand. So make lots of space for the wrists. You're not overstraining. And then bring that left hand down. Tuck the toes and bring the knees to a little tiny hover right above the mat. Hold and breathe. Pressing into the hands nice and strong in the arms and shoulders. Strengthen the core a little more. And we're going to bring the knees forward towards our elbows and then back. It's a tiny movement, little tuck of the pelvis. Use your core. And then holding this position, floating the knees still, we're going to bring right knee right up towards right elbow. And left knee right up to the left elbow. Inhale as you come forward. Exhale as you sink back. Lower the knees, slowly lower the stomach all the way down to crocodile pose. One hand on top of another, forehead down, and shimmy the hips, let go. Take the tension out of the head and the neck and the shoulders. We're going to move and breathe here, strengthening the back. So hands can be wherever they are comfortable. Bringing our shoulders up as we inhale and exhale as we lower. Inhale, lifting shoulders. Exhale, lower. Maybe start to bring the feet up also. Thinking about getting long from the top of the head to the top of the toes. Thinking about more space for the vertebrae. And taking the tension out of the neck, not lifting the head, but lifting the shoulders. Maybe beginning to lift the hands even. Bring it back down, crocodile, shimmy the hips, and let go. And then we're going to go back to moving and breathing and using the back line. So lifting the shoulders, maybe lifting the toes, getting really, really long. We're going to inhale, lift arms, and then exhale, draw elbows back. Inhale, lengthen arms. Exhale, draw elbows back. So just trying to find all those muscles on the back and in between the shoulder blades. And then bring it back to crocodile. Shimmy the hips and let go. Particularly check in on the neck, soften the neck. tuck the toes and bring the arms to forearms down, making a strong foundation first. So really bring your forearms down and engaging your hands and your forearms like you're pulling the mat apart. We're going to lift up, maybe just lifting our pelvis. So as if we're being pulled by our tailbone, set up a strong foundation. We are going to lift that same movement we did in tabletop, only from forearms. So coming up so that you're nice and strong, inhale, right arm up, exhale, thread it through. Really trying to keep this left arm and shoulder engaged. Maybe you can come all the way up, long legs lifting the knees. Squeeze the core. This is hard work on the shoulder. Bring that right forearm down and set up for the other side. Knees down first. Set your foundation. Inhale, lift and open. Exhale, thread through. And then maybe you can lift the knees and open to full forearm plank. Inhale, open. Exhale, thread through. And bring the left forearm down, bring the knees down, hands engaged, send the hips back. Take the tension out of the neck, let the head land. And breathe. And then tuck the toes and come up to down dog. Find your first down dog. Find some movement in your down dog to warm up your down dog. Do what feels good. And then find the stillness of down dog. Connect with your head below your heart. And find your breath. We're going to return to that movement where we're doing bringing knee to elbow, only into a down dog shape. So lift forward, bringing right knee to right elbow. Exhale back. Inhale forward. Left knee to left elbow. Exhale back. Same movement. Try to make it come from the core. How do you do that? Find those muscles in the lower core. Squeeze them tighter towards the spine. And what's the difference between yoga and a regular exercise program? Finding your breath and finding that mind-body connection. So we're not just throwing our limbs in space. We're trying to find our muscles, tune into our muscles, find the places that are weak and strengthen them. Regular down dog. Connect with your breath. Inhale, lift the right leg, bend the knee, bring it behind the right wrist. Inhaling forward, exhaling, sending the legs straight back to straight. Inhaling forward, exhale back. Feel free to use a block to help you come up off your joints. Just a nice reminder to lift yourself up off the leg and use the muscles.
What? I got up to get my blocks and then went back to the wrong side.
Land forward in a low lunge. Try to lift up off this leg a little with the torso. So we tend to fold forward and land on the leg. Try to lift up and be strong. If you do not have the blocks, you're going to be on the ground here. Here, if you have the blocks, it's going to be a little bit easier. And have your right hand on the block in that same movement we were doing before. Inhale, lift left arm up and open. Exhale, bring it down. Inhale, up and open. Exhale, down. Try to stay engaged in both legs. So feel that right leg pushing down into the ground and pulling up out of the ground. Also the left leg, strong. Inhale, open. Exhale, down. Bring it back to low lunge. We're going to bring the weight forward on that right leg. And we're going to reach long with the right arm. Inhale long, exhale, bring the opposite knee to elbow. Inhale long, exhale, knee to elbow. If you'd like to challenge your balance, you're going to lift up off that left hand. See if you can inhale long, exhale in without using your hand for support. Land in your low lunge. Should be feeling that right hip right about now. Bend the knee, inhale all the way up, high lunge. Find your high lunge and settle in. Find your feet strong. We're going to inhale up, lengthen, exhale, sweep over. Inhale up, lengthen. Exhale, sweep over. Bring your body forward, torso forward. Find the weight on that right leg, right hip should be burning. And then we're going to lift up slow to warrior three. So come forward, pop up that back leg, hold. Slowly bend the left knee. Bring it towards the right elbow. And then see if you can cross left ankle over right knee. Maybe even sit it down. Breathe, find your balance. Slowly bring the left foot to the left side of your mat. Right foot to the right side of your mat. Nice wide stance. Shimmy the hips. Feel left and right side. So take a little soft bend left to right. And feel left and right sides different. We only worked one side, so it's a good time to get that mind-body connection and what it feels like to work the muscles. Land on your feet. Pull the mat. Engage the outsides of the legs. Hands can come to hips or they can come out. We're going to lean forward with the torso. Only come as far forward as you feel strong and engaged. And then move the hips. Small movement, left to right. You can use the blocks. You can use your arms out to make the torso heavier. You can have your hands on your hips to make your torso lighter. Inhale as we rise all the way up. Bring your arms up overhead. Exhale. Draw your hands down to prayer. turn your toes out a little, and we're gonna come all the way down to Malasana. Nice and slow. Yogi squat pose. Find the point where you feel strong around the knees, ankles, and hips, and then hold. Or a little soft movement left and right. Find the stillness in Malasana. Little challenge here. If you are ready to go down to Child's, please meet me in Child's. Or go through the challenge. We're going to press into the heels as we inhale, lift, tap over. Exhale, come down. Inhale, lift, tap, opposite foot across the body. Inhale, lift, tap, exhale, back down. Use the heels to push into the mat. And then bring it all the way up. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to prayer and step it in, mountain pose. Inhale up and swan dive it down. Left foot back, right foot back, high plank. Breathe and hold. Meet me in Child's or another challenge, elbow to knee in plank. Bring it in, back. Lower the knees and find a Child's. Catch your breath. Bring it back to tabletop position. And we're going to bring the right knee up and open to the right side. Flex the foot, engage the leg. We're going to inhale, squeeze the right elbow to right knee to right elbow and back. Squeeze in and back, little small movements. Leg engaged. Notice compensation patterns. Try to keep this in and around the obliques and around the hip and around the leg. Try not to use the whole entire back. Bring that down. Take the hips all the way over to the right in a funky side Child's. And back to center. Lift left knee out to the left. Flex the foot, engage the leg, and then in, knee to elbow, and back. Bring the left knee down, sink the hips over to the left, funky jabs. Take the tension out of the head. Bring it back to a tabletop position, tuck the toes, down dog. From down dog, we're going to lift and bend the right knee. Bring the right knee towards the right elbow. Bring it down. Bring it back up. And then take it out, three-legged dog. Bring it in. Bring it down. Bring it back up, three-legged dog. In, down, back, three-legged dog. Bring the right leg down. And find a down dog, reset. Left leg up. Bend the knee, bring it in, down, up, and back. Find your core. And then regular down dog. Lift the left leg high, bend the knee, and step it in, low lunge. Finding your low lunge. It's so hot in here today.
Yeah.
Sorry. Inhaling forward and exhaling left leg towards straight. We are sweating in the studio today. I should have turned the fans on.
Too late.
And then find low lunge. Try to lift up off the left thigh, pressing into the ground with the left leg and pulling up. Both legs strong and engaged. Left hand stays on the block or the ground. Inhale, right arm up and open. Exhale down. Engaging. See if you can engage the legs a little more. Plant the right hand down, set up. We're going to bring the left arm long. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze elbow to knee. And if you like to start the core challenge, you're going to try and do it without balancing on that right hand. Land your low lunge. Find strong legs, longer spine, open chest. Breathe. And then inhale, rise up all the way to a high lunge. Find a solid foundation. Inhale, lift arms up long, extend. Exhale, torso forward, body back. Inhale up. Exhale down. Find your high lunge. Body forward, torso forward, weight forward into that left leg. Pop up the back leg. Warrior 3, hold and breathe. Bend the knee and slowly bring it all the way forward and then cross right ankle over left knee and maybe even set it down. Whew. Breathe and hold. Engage that right foot, engage the right leg. Draw the right knee down towards the ground, engaging the hips. Inhale as you switch. Tap it out. Tap your feet up. And return to our mountain where we began our class. 2 feet underneath our hips. Soften around the knees. Soften around the hips. And notice what feels different. Notice changes. Tune into your breath. And then back to simple moving and breathing. Inhale, open. Exhale down to our hearts. Inhale, open. This time, inhale up and swan dive it down. Touching the ground with knees bent, hold here, hang out here, and take the tension out of the head and the neck. Let the torso find the thighs. And breathe, letting go. Maybe even turn the fingertips back and let the palms of the hands face the ceiling. Take the tension out of the shoulders even more. Slowly lowering the hips all the way down. Find your seat. Your seat, not your back. All right, find your seat. Your feet are going to come to the ground about hip width apart. We are going to lean back until our core is engaged. So pulling your core towards your spine and not rolling onto the tailbone. Lean back. Get really, really long in the spine. And then lift the right leg. Pull the toes towards the shin. Make the leg really strong. Bring the heel in and heel out. Find more muscles in your leg. Bring the knee in, push the foot out. Bring that foot down and bring both legs down. Give them a little wiggle, and again, one side's may work more than the other, so notice sides, notice differences. Take your feet a little wider than the hips. Lean back and engage the core. Bring the left knee in towards center. And then bring the right knee in towards center. So squeeze the core as you're doing this. See if you can find which muscles are making this movement. Maybe press your heels down a little bit more into the ground. Engage the legs as you make this movement. Find that mind-body connection. See if you can see which muscles are making the movement. Bring it back to center. Feet in about hip width. Set up, left foot up. So squeeze the core, don't fall back on the tailbone. Get long in the spine. Heel in and out. Engage the muscles of the leg. Don't just swing that leg around in space. And bring the knee in, press the foot away. Bring it down, shake the legs out. Sit in a comfortable seat, whatever that is for you. Maybe you have a cushion under the hips. We're going to bring the hands and arms.
Arms, yeah,
The arms.
arms.
The hands and arms. We're going to bring the arms behind us and push back. Pushing back, lifting up. Pushing back, lifting up.
Ooh, what's all that about?
I don't know. Something huge just popped up on the screen. Sorry if you can't hear us. I'm pretty sure that it's okay. Some ad. I don't know why that happened. Bring the hands behind you. Press like you're really pressing something and then pull apart. Close together, pull apart. So notice if your lower back is doing all this work. This should be from the upper back up, arms and shoulders. So squeeze the core a little, bring the core in if the back is trying to do all the work. And make this in the arms and the shoulders. Bring the arms back behind you. Push away like you're pushing a wall behind you. Get the spine taller. Try not to lean the torso forward. Bring the hands slowly wide. Hold. Turn the hands. Bring the hands up. Press behind you. Bring the hands down. Flip the hands. Bring the arms all the way back to where we started. And again, pressing the wall away. Push. Flip. Still pushing behind you. Push. Back. Flip. And down. And then flick the hands out, loosen the arms and shoulders. Nice slow circles with the shoulders. And then bring it on down to your back. Bring your knees in, give yourself a little hug, rock it side to side. Whatever feels good. So sweaty, I'm having wardrobe malfunctions. It's so hot. Yesterday it was cold in here. I guess they turned the heat down.
I think they realized that it was cold yesterday and ended up overcompensating.
Okay. Take your feet up to the ceiling and just experience your feet above your heart. So we started with thinking about our feet. Try thinking about your feet now. Think about how they feel. Wheel the toes. Take some ankle circles, some slow ankle circles. Trying to feel every angle of the circle. And then back in the opposite direction. And with your feet if your feet above your head, your legs kind of softer, we're just going to think about our hands. So still just having our feet up, getting that blood rushing back down to our hearts. We're going to take our thumb of our left hand and rub it underneath the thumb on the palm of the right hand, this ball of the right hand, ball of the thumb, sorry. Rub your thumb across here. We often carry a lot of tension here, so finding little circles, whatever feels good. And then the other side, right thumb to left thumb on the palm of the hand, the base of the thumb. I'm struggling with English.
It's really hot.
It's too hot to think.
My brain is frying.
Bring the hands together per interlace. Pull apart. Still feet in the air. You can wiggle them. Circles, whatever feels good. Try turning your fingers, palms up to the ceiling, stretching in this direction. Little gentle pull on the fingers. If this is too much, just turn them up and keep them wide. Don't push the hands up. And then bring the knees in and give yourself a little hug. Curl up in a teeny tiny ball. Really pull your knees in. experience what it feels like to be tight and curled up. And then let the left toe come all the way to the far edge of the left corner of your mat. Take your right toes to the far edge of the right corner of the mat. Open up. Take a little soft sway of the hips and notice anything that happened to your lower back. If this is too intense on your lower back, then just keep your knees bent and let your hips land a little more evenly on the ground. Sometimes low backs can pull with our legs straight. Soften into the ground. Notice what is going on from the hips to the shoulders. So really check in with all of the muscles of the spine. See if you can take some shuffles and let goes. Really tune in. Find the tension in your back. See if you can wiggle some of it out. Wiggle and loosen and soften. Take your arms up towards the ceiling, like zombie arms. Your hands are loose. Lift your arms up. Lift your shoulders up off the ground. And then let them plop. Lift up and let them plop. See if you can get little vibrations into the shoulders. And then let your arms suddenly flop open and wide wherever they land. See if they landed comfortably. Maybe they did not. See if you can take a little wiggle and shuffle through the arms and shoulders. And then maybe the chin needs to wiggle left and right, nice and slow. Take some tension out of the neck to let the shoulders land even more on the ground. And then find your chin at neutral and see if you're doing the flatten the neck to the ground trick. Our ancestors told us all to stand up straight. And we all diligently stood up straight and pulled our shoulders back and our chins back and tried to make our spine straight. But we have natural curves. So rather than growing straight, imagine being taller. Imagine someone had a string on the crown of your head and just little lightly pulled you up. Pulled all that weight off your spine and made a little more space for each vertebrae. Maybe take your chin a little more to the ceiling. See if your natural curve in your neck returns. And take a couple of really slow and controlled with muscle breaths. So breathing in, really pulling the breath into the torso. Exhale, really squeezing the breath out. Inhale, drawing in, pulling in, using some muscles to really open and expand. Exhale, squeeze and expel the air out. Notice what it feels like to be completely in charge and in control of your breath. And then try pulling your breath in, adding a gentle pause, pushing your breath out, and adding a gentle pause. Again, being completely and in control of your breath. Inhale, draw in, pause. Exhale, gently push out, pause. And then let control of your breath go and notice how that feels. Really focusing in on all of those muscles you just felt engage. And see if you can soften them and tell them to let go. And this is not always an easy task. When I give instructions for letting muscles go, it's a practice, not getting it perfect. So you may be able to draw in your breath very firmly. You may be able to use a lot of muscular action to bring your breath in firmly and expel your breath out firmly. But the task of letting that breath go and letting all the muscles in your breath go, involved with your breath go, might be a little more challenging. So try not to get frustrated if that's the case. Just notice. Just notice. And then maybe next time as you notice, that'll be a little less. Maybe not. Maybe it takes a while. For me, that gripping around my breath took many years of practice to let go, to learn to let go and soften. And for my resting pose, there were many years laying on my mat, wondering just how long the teacher was going to torture me for. So all the work is done. See if you can tell each and every muscle from the tips of your toes to the crown of your head that the work is done, that they can turn off and take a little break. Maybe even taking a moment to say to yourself right here in this moment, all of my needs are met. And then soften control of even your breath. Really land on the mat and let the mat carry you. Greet yourself in your mind and your thoughts where you're at. Notice what is firing. Check in with a little less judgment and a little more kindness. And then just observe what is going on here. Notice that you can notice your thoughts, and then perhaps notice a little space in between the thoughts. We're coming right up on the 60-minute mark. So if you have something you need to do, somewhere you need to be, begin to arrive back on the mat with us. If not, turn us off. Take some more time in your resting pose. Take as much time as your body needs if you can. If you have that time available, try to take it and listen to your body. If not, begin to bring some gentle movements to your fingers and to your toes. Bring a knee in at a time. Curl up in a little ball and roll over to whichever side is calling to you. Curl up in a little ball. Come all the way down to the heart center. Connecting with your heart center, that spark of life. Your essential self underneath all of the layers. Perhaps doing a little mental scan, looking for anything that you might be ready to leave on the mat. Particularly some of those negative stories we tell ourselves or harsh judgments we place upon ourselves. Fire your inner critic. And then come on up to a seated position. Completing with familiar patterns, bringing our hands to meet in front of our heart, connecting our left and right sides in front of our heart space. This gesture of accepting ourselves as whole and complete, exactly as we are. May you spend the rest of your day feeling a little stronger. And may we all know love, light, and connection. Thanks for joining us.